My name is Aldo Dekker. I'm a veterinarian by training. I started to work in the Central Veterinary Institute in Lelystad, the Netherlands in 1989, and in 1991 I started working on foot-and-mouth disease and swine vesicular disease. I have an interest in both the small things and the large things, so from viruses, how genome is regulated and how virus spreads between farms, so epidemiology. I did my thesis on swine vesicular disease, diagnostics, epidemiology and pathogenesis of the virus. I have been working there for a long time, and now I had time for a sabbatical, so I'm taking the sabbatical here in Rome, and I'm currently working on the rinderpest post-eradication program. And it means that we are trying to reduce the number of holdings where rinderpest virus is kept, as far as you know, and try to raise awareness of when rinderpest virus would be reintroduced, that we can control it as quickly as possible and try to make an international preparedness plan. So that's mainly that what countries have to do is be aware that rinderpest can happen again and how they should control it. Yeah, as I already said, I'm really love viruses from what they are. It's very small, you can't see them, and even smaller, the genome-based structures which make the virus grow or not grow in cell culture or in animals, but also how the virus interacts with the host. So my thesis was also on the pathogenesis of viruses, but then also on the epidemiology. How does it spread from one farm to the other, and how can we control that? And that's of course an important question in relation to the work we do for our government, trying to support disease control if an outbreak happens. We have been working on the transmission of foot-and-mouth disease with and without vaccination or other control measures like separation, and tried to quantify transmission. And I think that's important. But yeah, if you really look at the big achievement, then it's of course the fact that these control measures, vaccination, has now been implemented in our national contingency plan, and I think vaccination is the best tool to control foot-and-mouth disease, but also other diseases, because killing animals is also an option. But if you can control it by vaccination, that's in my view much better, and I hope to bring that further, and also that in other contingency plans vaccinations becomes more prominent. For me, vaccination is an important tool, and a tool to control diseases. And I think in some of the disease contingency plans, stamping out is still an important issue, and stamping out an infected farm is always necessary. I realize that, but we have done a lot of preemptive killing in the last outbreaks in Europe, which is, I think, a little bit strange if you look at really the probabilities that those farms were really infected, and nobody looks really at the risk of transmission by these teams that have to kill all those animals on those farms. So I like my ideas on that should be thought differently, and more importantly, thought about vaccination as a control tool, as a first option. I hope to bring that a little bit to FAO in thinking about disease control.